Hello, Nibley 12th Ward. Owen Nuttall here. The bishop has asked me to start making some monthly videos talking about emergency preparedness and how we can better accomplish that. So I want to start off. A couple things we learned from the scriptures just about being prepared. In Doctrine and Covenants, we're told if we are prepared, we shall not fear. To me, that's a huge valuable thing to not be fearful of situations. Part of the reason I became a firefighter is just because I got scared during emergencies when people were hurt and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't appreciate that, and I worried about what would happen when my kid or when I had kids, and if they got older, if they got hurt, and I didn't know what to do to help them. So we need to be prepared for any and all things. The church has always pushed preparedness. I mean, I can remember as a little kid that my mom and dad had mountains of buckets of wheat and stuff like that for food storage. There was 8 kids in my family, so we literally had an entire barn full of food storage. But the first thing I want to talk about, like I said, we'll do these monthly. But the first thing I want to talk about is emergency plans. I think a lot of us, when it comes to an emergency, we feel like we can wing it. Not necessarily the case. If we don't really have a plan, if things go haywire, we panic and we don't know what to do because our brains just don't work like that. So with your kids especially, and a lot of this is geared towards our children and how to help them prepare. Is one of the things we want to do with them is teach them what to do in case of an emergency, whatever type of an emergency that may be, whether it's like a house fire or flooding or a medical emergency, something like that. But one of the things that we promote here a lot at work when we do tours is we talk about escape plans from your house. Now, a lot of us in Nibley have like a second story house because there's not a lot of basements. So we need to teach our kids and physically show them how to get out of their house. Because we've done research and it's shown that when there's emergencies, especially in a case of like in a fire, kids tend to hide in places they feel safe. So that would be like in their bed, under their bed, in a closet, or in their favorite hiding place in the house. So instead of hiding, we want to show our kids how to get out of the house. Physically show them. Drawing a floor plan and showing it to kids doesn't necessarily work. The second thing with that is we want to show them where to meet outside of the house. So in our family, we said if there's an emergency, you get out, you go meet at the mailbox, okay? You don't bring your stuff, you don't go back for anything. You can try and warn the other people in the house, but, things that can't be replaced need to get out of the house, which is you. Things that can be replaced can stay in the house. Along with that as well, we need to know who to go to call for help, or whose house we can go to, like a trusted neighbor, a family member, something like that. And this as well is something good to teach your kids. For whatever reason, if there's an emergency, you're gone or you're separated, your kids need to know where to go because their little minds just won't process that fast enough or well enough. And you don't really know what kind of decision they're going to make. So the next thing I want to talk about, and this is kind of an interesting point. I've asked some of the neighbor kids lately when they've come over, I said, how are you going to call 911? They go, well, I'm going to go get mom and dad's cell phone and I'm going to call 911. Okay, well, that's great because none of us had landlines anymore. Growing up, we all had the landline with the long cord that you go hide in the closet and you could talk in some relative peace. But there was always a phone at home that you could call someone in case of an emergency, or you could call 911. And it's not necessarily the case anymore. So how are your kids going to call 911? Do they have their own phones? Like, what if mom and dad is gone? Like, how are they going to do it then? So what I did is I looked up online really quickly is if old cell phones can be used to call 911 if they've been disconnected or are no longer in service. What I found is that they can. The only difference is that 911 cannot call you back if you're disconnected from the line, okay? So we actually have a phone at our house that we leave on a charger that's been deactivated. Everything's turned off on it basically. It's just there in case somebody needs to call 911. That's what we have it for. if you guys know of any other ways to call 911, I'd love to hear it. I don't know if you can do it on Facebook Messenger or Facebook Kids, anything like that, but if there are other ways, let me know. That's all I have today, but if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to reach out and can call or text or stop by anytime. I'm home 4 days out of the week, every time when I'm not on shift and rotating, so feel free to stop by. Thanks so much.